I tried Warcraft 3 23 years late. And I'm curious
Today, I have something embarrassing I have to admit.
about his
If you are someone
opinion.
that considers yourself a fan of either the real-time strategy or MOBA genres in the world of PC gaming, there is one game that you are supposed to have played. Because even across the massive and rich history real-time strategy boasts, so many fans say this game is the greatest RTS of all time. The entire MOBA genre
It is the greatest game of all time.
Has virtually every one of its core elements taken from this title. It's the only reason MOBAs even exist today. A game still celebrated and remembered fondly even 23 years after its release. I am talking, of course, about the late and great Warcraft III. And I have never played it. So this is genuinely embarrassing for me to admit, even though I have dedicated 15 years of my life to League of Legends and MOBAs, which became my whole career, even though everyone from Faker to the co-founders of Riot got their start in Warcraft 3, I'm kind of clueless. I never played the game, I don't know what it's like, I don't know anything about the story or why it's so celebrated, I just know that people love it. And this got me thinking recently, it's probably high time that I fix my ignorance.
It's really nice that he has his background in League of Legends. Grubby is currently on a League of Legends arc, so he uses the Netherlands as a background for his video. That's a really nice touch. It's kind of like full circle.
Ignorance. Even though I am showing up to the party 23 years late, today I'm gonna play Warcraft 3 for the very first time and try to see what all the hype's about.
Never too late, mate. Never too late.
Oh boy, look at that beautiful low poly game menu. I swear, nothing has
Okay, oh, interesting. So, you saw it at the bottom. He's playing 1.27. So he didn't upgrade to Reforged. So he won't have a lot of quality of life stuff. And I think it's still stretched 16 by 9, right? Yeah, he will have a tainted experience, I think. I think the game is now, with patch 2.03, overall better than 1.27.
Oh boy, look at that beautiful low poly game menu. I swear, nothing has charm like early 2000s PC games and their menus.
Big true.
So let's break down what we're going to be doing here. I want to challenge myself today to experience Warcraft 3 as true to life as possible, completely blind, the way a kid might first experience it after picking up the game back in 2002. As such, I will not be playing the remake that Blizzard made a few years ago, Warcraft Reforged. I will be playing the original version and going chronologically through its campaign. Warcraft 3 is an RTS with 4 different races, each with their own campaign, but only the human one.
I feel like it's still a misconception that people can't have the classic experience with Reforged. That's a damn shame, man. If he plays this on Classic HD, I think he's gonna have a better time.
Is unlocked for you from the start, apart from a little orc prologue tutorial, but I'm such a great RTS player, I'm sure I don't need that. So
He's
I will be
skipping the
through
prologue! Cardinal sin number 2. Can't skip the prologue. It's so good.
Entire human campaign in this video, seeing if that's enough to hook me on the Warcraft universe. I'm really curious to see, coming to this game and its universe as a completely new player, does the story and gameplay still hold up even now in 2025? And whatever twists the game has for me, will they still be shocking to see? Well, I can say that things definitely start off strong, because like any great Blizzard game, Warcraft 3's campaign kicks off with a beautiful cinematic.
That one's remastered?
Our story begins with a bird flying over a gorgeous landscape into a city where some sort of royal council is debating what to do about a massive orcs nearby, as well as a mysterious plague that's appeared in their kingdom. The bird then flies into these royal chambers and shows off what a kick-ass job Blizzard's animators can do, even back in 2002.
Bro, 23 years and they did this. So
Honestly, this was cool as hell to see. I love that era of gaming where PC titles could only give you impressive high-end graphics in a few specialty cutscenes. I know today basically every cutscene in every video game looks cinema-worthy, but it was awesome back when game developers had to be a bit more restrained and only got to blow all the budget on making a handful of cinematics look awesome like this. And
it made them so much more special, though. It made them so much more special because they were so few. Also the Diablo ones. Diablo 2 are so crazy. Blizzard still gets them to be mind-blowing. At least they did in Diablo 4, like once. But yeah, it's been lost. And maybe hot take. I miss real actors in video game sequences. Like we had in Command & Conquer, like we had in Wing Commander. I thought that was awesome.
Anyway, this prophet goes on to speak about how humanity is doomed unless the king leads his people away to a new land in the east. This king, however, only gets angry and refuses, which leaves the bird guy to exit the scene as he issues an ominous warning.
I failed humanity once before, and I will not do so again. If you cannot take up this cup, then I shall find another who will.
Amazing entrance for a character. Bird guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is what I like to see. Look at those graphics. I unironically can't get enough of that low poly aesthetic. As we're brought into our first mission, we are now introduced to our main character and the certified good guy of this story, Prince Arthas, who we will be playing as. He's meeting up here with an apparent old friend.
Shall we tell him, Chad? Shall we tell him about good guy, bad guy? Kind of blurry here, isn't it?
Uther the Lightbringer, informing him that an orc encampment is nearby and we have to go and help the defenseless human village that they are about to attack. Uther heads off, leaving us to the task, and we are off on our first mission in this game, which I am so—
This is, by the way, why I think the prologue is so cool in Warcraft, because the prologue is not human, it's orc. So a lot here in Warcraft is about shades of gray, and it's not, this is clearly good, this is clearly bad. So when you start without the prologue, you're a human. You see the orcs. To you, they're like monsters. And of course, you slay them. But if you played the prologue, you already have like feelings for the Horde. And there it begins. That's why the prologue is so great.
So excited about that I immediately sprint to the edge of the map in the wrong direction. Now, many RTS games will start players off with a mission like this for their first level that has no base management or building, instead just giving players a handful of units that they can move around a map so they can get used to the micromanagement integral to this genre. That's what I thought this was as I loaded into the level with Arthas and my 4 soldiers. I assumed it was a straightforward tutorial where I would just be running my units from one part of a road to another. But it turned out this was not a slow ramp up to real gameplay. This was real gameplay. As I ran down the road, I passed into a little farm with villagers and animals, and there's a whole town here with NPCs, sheep, kids playing, and landscapes. Eventually, I came across a guy with an exclamation point above his head. That's not a quest, is it? RTS games don't have quests. I walk up to him though, and he is then turned into additional soldiers who now join our ranks. Quest complete. Further exploration.
Isn't it sad that World of Warcraft created the exclamation mark for quest people? Warcraft did it first. So not only did we create MOBA, we also revolutionized MOBA.
Leads me to a lady who seemingly has another quest. A little boy named Timmy was captured by some monsters and I have to go save him. I quickly head down the road to find the monster encampment and slay all the bad guys, freeing Timmy, with the monsters dropping a potion of healing for me as well. Wait, is that an item in an RTS game? Oh yeah, this is a game with heroes who have abilities that they can use mid-battle and items that can fill up an inventory. I am already starting to see why the MOBA genre was mostly inspired by this game. As I free Timmy,
It is, by the way, a goddamn shame that no big RTS to this day has this. And I will never understand why.
Me, and the lady comes to thank me for doing so. She rewards me with another item, a ring of protection. Sweet, got my early Doran's ring. I backtrack towards the main pathway, still somewhat stunned by the amount of detail put into this level. This map is filled with so many cool things that I get a little bit overwhelmed, and upon seeing a pig on the road in our pathway, I kind of get curious about what would happen if I A-key attack it.
Justice shall be done. For honor.
Okay, I can kill neutral monsters, and now I feel kind of bad. Still, this is really interesting to me.
At least you didn't click on it.
My curiosity is piqued, and I almost want to limit test the game, so I go off and then massacre a sheep next. All right. Hang on, there's no way that this game is going to let me kill women and children, right?
For my father, the king.
Oh God, okay, now I feel really bad. Yeah, it turns
The Blizzard of old, guys. The Blizzard of old.
Turns out that all my time in League of Legends led me to forget that the MOBA genre started off with creep denial, meaning you could A-key attack your own units to kill them, and now I am feeling a little bit like a monster. Guilt-stricken, I finally make my way back to the main path toward the town, where I come across another detour. This pathway apparently leads off to another side quest. Except no, this is a trap set by bandits to try and kill me and my army? Right after teaching me a unique new game mechanic, this game is already using that knowledge to try and trick me.
Great
I
point.
mean, this is pretty awesome. I think it's fair to say that I am not really used to this. I've played a lot of RTS games, and
Love the genuine excitement.
many of them do have little Easter eggs hidden inside their maps, but I'm starved to remember another title that has so many details and quests and hidden objectives and world building all put into a single level. This is honestly really cool. I try to pick my jaw up off the floor and go back down the main pathway to continue exploring, where I find a group of bandits who steal some item from a group of innocent civilians. So of course I go hunt them down to get the item back and complete yet another quest. All very cool to see. Afterward, we finally make our way to the village that we were initially trying to save in the first place, and now find that it's already under attack by orcs. Being the god gamer that I am,
Spend too much time killing innocent women. Classic League of Legends gamer.
I assume I can take care of these guys pretty easily, and in the midst of my fighting, I see that there's what looks like another pathway to explore. So mid-fight, I take one of my units and micro him away to run down the path. You know, maybe there's more quests or secrets down this way, but to my horror, this is where I find a graveyard filled with the ghosts of the neutral mobs I killed earlier.
So
oh God,
great,
Warcraft, I can see why people celebrate this game so much. I'm seriously so blown away by all of this world building that going through the rest of the main objective of killing all the bad guy orcs and saving.
Also that the villagers have names, right? Like, how great. It's not just villager. She's called Stephanie. You killed Stephanie.
The villagers almost feels boring by comparison.
And this is not much more work, right? I mean, probably it is a bit more work than just calling them villagers. But you don't have to come up with much. It's just the final stroke on a painting.
I succeed in doing so, and after seeing a little cutscene of some orcs leading some villagers away, I slay the rest of them to be rewarded with a final cutscene and the completion of our first mission.
Bless you, Prince Arthas.
But what about the others who were taken away?
Don't worry, son. We'll find them and bring them home safe.
Wow, I forgot about the time when games felt like they had to give high scores to reward players with. What a relic of the past that is. Arthas then goes to meet up with Uther, who seems a little less pissed that orcs are going around massacring everybody.
Then let's get in there and destroy the beasts.
Remember, Arthas, we are paladins. Vengeance cannot be a part of what we must do. If we allow our passions to turn to bloodlust, then we will become as vile as the orcs.
Yes, Uther.
I don't know. I'm kind of Team Arthas on this one. We're told to establish
Because
a
you
base
didn't
so we can
play
lead an
the
attack on these
campaign.
orcs, and now we are finally thrown into
Prologue.
the full RTS gameplay that I was first expecting when booting up the game. Warcraft III operates somewhat similarly to the StarCraft universe in that there are two main resources to gather, gold and lumber, which are used to construct all of your buildings and units. I set my villagers off to get some gold so I can train more of them, but then instantly get supply blocked because, oops, I guess it's been a while since I last played in RTS. We get underway constructing our base though, raising an army, and are soon treated with another story-driven cutscene.
I think there must be a better way to get rid of being supply blocked. And we've seen this in Immortal Gates of Pyre, where production buildings give you the supply instead of supply buildings like farms. I think that's pretty smart. I don't know if it's perfect though. It would never work for Warcraft, obviously, as we have so little units and so little production.
The hour of doom approaches. Let this paltry sacrifice appease our demon masters.
You sick bastards. You'll never get away with it.
So evil.
Slay the orcs.
Slay them all!
Oh god, this game is getting a little bit dark. I wasn't expecting the story to be such a downer. I hope it has a happy ending. I'm feeling pretty eager to punish these orcs, but before I do so, I first go off to explore the map a bit and see if there are more secrets to be found. And it turns out there are. Neutral mob camps appear in certain pockets of the map, where if I slay them, then I can get some additional gold and sometimes loot. Okay, yeah, there's another thing that the MOBA genre stole. After finishing my base and being told to go slay the rest of the orcs, I sent Arthas out with almost my entire army to do exactly that. Even though we don't have many units, Arthas is a hero unit, meaning he has special abilities like a League champion or Dota hero would. His one ability that he has currently is a heal that can be used on allies. That's something I'm pretty confident I can micro around with to top off all my units' health, which should make these fights and finishing off the mission pretty easy. Things are going well as we make our way.
Oh my god, you're right, Chad. He didn't skill. That is fascinating to me that this happens to a lot of League and Dota players. We've seen that in Grubby Invitational, right? Shouldn't it be natural to them? That's like a StarCraft player effing up the econ or production. That is triggering.
The enemy base, except I then realized that I left my base completely undefended and the orcs are now attacking. Rather than send any of my units back to defend though, I say, you know what, let's go ahead and base race this mission. Nice. I go try to complete the objective before all the rest of my allies die. A typical League player mentality. But we managed to defeat the Blade Master while holding off the enemy attack and complete the mission. Afterwards, we're treated to a cutscene where Arthas is a little bit perturbed that orcs were sacrificing civilians, but Uther assures him that nothing is all that amiss and they've got everything under control. Meanwhile, in some other city, the prophet we saw in the introduction cutscene is still failing to get anyone to listen to him about running to a new safe space. He seemed kind of badass in the first cinematic, but now it looks like he's just really bad at his job. Here, though, we're introduced to a new character, a mage, named Jaina Proudmoore, who I recognize as the playable mage in Hearthstone, the only Warcraft universe game I've ever played, so I'm assuming that we're going to get to play her as a hero sometime soon. We cut back to Arthas to see another cutscene of he and Jaina meeting up as the two are now tasked with discovering the source of that mysterious plague going around mentioned in the first cinematic. And to my surprise, our next mission is another one that doesn't have any building or base management. This is something that's going to keep coming up across the game. So much of Warcraft 3 are these almost Diablo-style RPG adventures, which are not only really fun to play, but they're also a great way to tell a story. That's something we're going to get back to in a moment. Anyway, in this mission, Arthas and Jaina head down the road only to find that the bridge is out, forcing them to explore this area even more. I find some bandits sacking a town and naturally use my new awesome water elemental from Jaina to take them out. Jaina feels like a very fun character to use. Up until now, I've just been using heals with Arthas, so it's cool to have a little summon ability. You may also notice that I am not...
That's truly where the range meta of Warcraft 3 began. When all of us fell in love with Jaina.
Leveling up any of my abilities. I didn't realize from mission to mission each
Don't deny
hero
it.
gains levels, and I need to spend my skill points
Hey!
to unlock new abilities.
Nice.
That's a pretty big noob mistake. After saving the village, though, I pick up a side quest to discover some kind of healing fountain on the other side of the map, which I am now super excited to traverse to, seeing how much there is to explore. We go kill some murlocs in the river, as well as some more bandit camps to get additional item drops. It's really cool to see some of these items drop from buildings as well. Structures aren't just here to flesh out the world as set decoration, they're also intertwined in the gameplay. As we come closer to our goal, I finally realize I have to level up my abilities and begin doing so right as Arthas and Jaina make a scary discovery, a grain silo that appears to have something to do with the source of the plague. We keep making our way through the rest of the map, picking up new units like a healing priest, as well as a mortar team for long-range damage. I like the way this game is slowly introducing what I can only assume are all the different human units that you might want to build or compose an army of in a regular PvP match. It's a nice introduction. Then, after finally...
And this is why I think that campaigns are so freaking important for the success of an RTS. If you create an RTS and you don't have a great campaign, you will fail. This is exactly how a faction is introduced. And not only one, but all of the factions. You learned how strong a grunt is. You saw a blade master. You are now seeing necros as well. Slowly but steady, it's building up. And of course, there's multiplayer only people. But if you want to catch casuals and make them into hardcore fans, that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. And I feel like a lot of RTS are too focused on multiplayer or co-op. But co-op has the same issue, for the most part, as multiplayer.
Making it all the way to the other side of the map, we meet the necromancer Kel'Thuzad, who is doing something strange with the village's grain. We take down his lackeys as well as destroy the grain silo that he seemingly poisoned and complete our third mission of the game. Arthas and Jaina figure Kel'Thuzad must be the one who's behind this plague, so they decide to press forward and look for him in the area where all this grain is coming from, a city named Anderhall. Now, before we go any further, I've got to say one thing. This game might be the most memorable story-driven RTS that I have ever played, which I realize sounds a bit insane since we are only 3 missions in, but hear me out. RTS games
2 story, thank you for the membership.
Have always suffered from one major problem. How do you tell a story-driven campaign when your game is about such large-scale things like building entire cities and raising whole armies? An army can't be a main character driving a plot on its own, and it feels really contrived to have mission after mission come up with these story excuses for why you're constantly building these new bases to fight new armies over and over. In my personal experience, I don't really remember a lot of the plot points of older RTS titles I played. I had fun playing them, and I remember the gameplay very well, but whatever single-player campaigns they had just felt like excuses to set up fun gameplay rather than being great narratives on their own. And over the years, I've come to think that this is just a problem endemic to the genre. It's hard to tell a memorable story in RTS games because of these constraints. But Warcraft III manages to stand out in a really unusual way. Because this game features real protagonists in the form of these heroes who are outsized characters in the story and gameplay, and because so many of these missions seem to be smaller scale that allows these heroes to interact with each other across detailed and fun maps, Blizzard are able to tell a much more compelling narrative. I genuinely feel like Arthas and Jaina and Uther and all these undead guys, it feels like they're real characters in a sprawling narrative. They're just playable factions with a story that's finding excuses for why they're fighting each other. I am genuinely curious about the narrative and what might happen next, and I have a feeling that Warcraft 3's campaign might be one that I remember much better than other RTS titles. But we'll still...
And that's because they grow with you. You start as a level 1 hero with an empty inventory, and at the end of the first mission, you're a level 2 hero with a couple of items. And then it goes on, and you become stronger, and you become more, and there's interactions. And then you beef, and all of a sudden, your hero, you gotta fight your hero. And then you get attached to one of these heroes, and then they die, and then you're sad. And that's emotion, and that's what we want in our games. Other games kind of tried, but if the hero, like a Mengsk, or a Reyna, Mengsk is not a hero, but a Reyna, or a Kerrigan, or whatever, isn't leveling up that well, then it's not the same. And if you don't have an inventory, then it's not the same. I like the Age of Empires mission most, where I had Jeanne d'Arc. But then it doesn't really translate to multiplayer. And you can play Arthas somehow in the multiplayer, or Jaina. Yes, exactly that. Fascinating how, damn, I forgot his name. How Jibe is realizing this after playing for an hour. And other RTS creators can't when it's their job. That is very good that he points this out. It's, I think this is one of these things where a lot of us feel that way, but it's not said too often. So it's good that we talk about it.
We'll have to wait and see. I'm only 3 missions in. It's possible I'm getting ahead of myself, and maybe the story will start slowing down from here on out.
Hell
the
no.
next mission starts off with Arthas and Jaina discovering some cultists as they get closer to Anderhall. After driving them off, it's time to establish a base and hunt down Kel'Thuzad. That means we're back to another RTS mission with another big map to explore. As my units start farming up resources, I send Arthas and Jaina off to find out what's in the Fog of War, where they start by discovering some more neutral camps to take down. But then I happen to stumble upon the Goblin Merchant, which is a shop where you can purchase items for your heroes. And oh god, there we go, that's another part of MOBAs. I can see where that came from. I continue exploring and eventually discover the enemy's base, sending my army to go tear it all down to the ground, which goes pretty smoothly. Maybe the only critique I have of Warcraft so far is that so many of the buildings look so similar to each other. I'm not entirely sure which is the structure that's the key guy I have to destroy to win this mission. Turns out blowing up this entire base was not my mission though, and I instead just had to walk a little further north to the city of Anderhall, where I am treated to another cutscene. Here,
I think that's fair criticism. Racing a base is pretty tedious at times, especially when that damn computer is starting to rebuild.
Here, Arthas and Jaina confront Kel'Thuzad, who says that he was the one that ordered the undead to distribute the plagued grain, although he's working for the Dreadlord Mal'Ganis, who we can seek out in Stratholme if we wish. Kel'Thuzad then tries to leave, but we head into the city to take him down, and oh god, look, there's Timmy, except he's undead now. Anyway, back to the story, Arthas quickly learns a worrying fact.
All the granaries are empty.
No!
The shipments have already been sent out. Or too late.
After giving chase into the final undead base, we fight our way through the enemy to finally reach Kel'Thuzad and the end of our mission, striking him down in vengeance, although it sounds like this story is just beginning.
I think, by the way, regarding the buildings, for us, of course, it's super intuitive, but I think the game also does a good job in displaying them in size. Small building, not important. Middle building, semi-important. Big building, very important. That goes through all the factions.
Naive fool. My death will make little difference in the long run. For now, the scourging of this land begins.
The following morning, Arthas and Jaina regroup in the nearby city of Hearthglen, where the two learn that the city is apparently preparing for battle. That's because an undead army has been rising all around as of last night and is now headed toward this town. Arthas tells Jaina to run off and inform Uther of what's going on, where shortly after he makes a horrifying discovery.
Wait. What did...
That's also a point, right? Some heroes disappear and we start to miss them.
those crates contain?
Just a grain shipment from Anderhall. There's no need to worry, my lord. It's already been distributed amongst the villagers.
Oh no. The plague was never meant to simply kill my people. It was meant to turn them into the undead. Defend yourselves!
And we are off with our next mission, where we are now tasked to defend Hearthglen from waves of undead for the next 30 minutes until Uther shows up. I'll be honest, this mission was both one that I was really excited for and my greatest blunder. I had hubris on the level of Arthas here, let me tell you. So at first, I was really excited seeing that
It is getting a lot harder with this mission.
30-minute timer, because I was thinking, oh, that's a lot of time I can use to explore the map and see all the secrets to be found, and there was quite a lot of fun stuff to find. Firstly, I came across another secret shop where I had to spend a good deal of time fiddling around with my inventory because I'm such a hoarder that I never use consumables when they're given to me in a single-player game. Up until this point, there had been a few hordes of undead that had attacked my base, but I managed to defend it pretty easily, even without my hero. So I was happy to keep exploring.
Okay, that's
At one
good.
point, I came across some poor infected villagers, and as they were turned into undead, I had to slay them, which I don't like doing. I already feel guilty about killing that one villager all the way back in level 1. I don't want to do that anymore. But then, before I could feel too bad, I hear there is an optional side quest. An undead caravan is carrying infected grain to the town in the north, so I head back up there to stop it. Upon destroying the grain shipment and completing the side quest, I make another really fun discovery. This caravan dropped a scroll of town portal, which allows Arthas to teleport back to his base along with the rest of his army.
Oh,
and then I start freaking out because I realize, okay, that's where blue pilling comes from. I always knew that.
I don't know what blue pilling is, but I know that he didn't pick up the Medallion of Courage, which is pretty damn good.
Dota, unlike most other MOBAs, forced players to purchase a recall item if they ever wanted to go back to base from lane, but I didn't realize that's because Blizzard gave everyone the idea by creating this recall item. This is where it all began. So
yes,
anyway,
and that is also unique in Warcraft, and that is also something that every RTS should have. Because it's a great damn function. This is also what makes team games in Warcraft a million times better than team games in any other RTS. Because you can just portal to help.
my defense is going well, the mission is basically over, and I'm thinking, this is easy, I can defend these hordes pretty much no problem, so I send my hero back out to see what else there is to explore. I find the second enemy base pretty quickly and map everything out, and that is when I'm attacked by another round of enemies. A little bit concerning, since I took quite a few soldiers out with Arthas on this exploration mission, but I should be fine. Arthas finds another little side quest to kill some murlocs and free a guy in a cage. Okay, that's going pretty well. Although I might actually lose a few units here. Whoa, okay, my base is kind of not doing too well. I have lost a lot of my army. Arthas finishes off his side quest and, oh look, there's Boots of Speed from League. I have a full inventory though. Okay, can I blue pill and then pick up the boots mid-recall? No? Okay, that's kind of annoying. Okay, game, you can shut up. I hear you. You keep telling me my forces are under attack. I understand. Oh my goodness, my base. Wait, did I throw this mission? Uther is still 8 minutes away.
Oops.
My whole army is kind of wiped. Arthas is level 6, so I could level him up to get his ultimate that revives 6 dead allied soldiers, but I'm still a noob that's sitting here on a skill point, so I'm not leveling it up right now. There's a lot of undead that are now in my base, and all my soldiers are falling. Even Arthas dies at one point, and it takes me a whole minute to figure out how to revive him at an altar. I have to use all of my workers choose to go and try to fight off the undead at this point.
He's
and I'm kind of
fine.
praying that whatever building the undead have to destroy to make me fail the mission, maybe that can last another 7 minutes, but I'm not very confident. My units do.
Oh yeah, now I understand. He's of course a MOBA player, right? So for them, if they lose the throne, they lose the game. For us, it's like classic RTS. You have to lose all the buildings. But for them, it's not as natural, right? So that's why he's asking, like, which building do I have to defend? Yeah, of course, makes sense.
You kill off a good chunk of the baddies, and I do get Arthas back up eventually. So what I decide to do is come up with a genius plan. What if I take Arthas and just try to micro him around to draw aggro off of the base
There
and
we
distract
go,
the
buddy.
undead long enough that they won't blow up my last few structures. It's a bit cowardly,
This the
and
way.
it's made all the more funny that every time I move Arthas, he says something like, "For honor," as I tactically retreat further and further away, my base completely in shambles, him running for his life. It's not going too
Nice.
well. Uther is still at least 2 minutes away, and Arthas is barely able to tank these guys, and the game keeps telling me my town is under siege. I know. Look at this place. It's just a lost cause. I'm starting to think maybe I should just rage quit the game at this point, because I'm really mad that I wasted 30 minutes and I have to replay this mission
Nah,
all
you're
over
good, you're
again.
good.
When suddenly...
The cavalry.
Oh, Lordaeron, for the king! Uther, your timing couldn't have been better.
How great is this mission designed, by the way? That a new player has like 5 buildings left when Uther comes in. That is literally perfection. They were so great back then.
Oh my god. Was all of this scripted? Was it even possible to fail this mission? Or is this how the story was always going to go? I still have no idea. I was so nervous and mad toward the end. It actually did feel like my base was being overwhelmed by a huge enemy army because I messed up my play. I don't think I have ever been as on edge in a single player campaign before as I felt here. But maybe this mission wasn't even something I could fail. I still don't know. Uther shows up just in the nick of time as he and Arthas fight off.
Oh, buddy. When I played Reforged, the mod that makes the campaign even better for Reforged, I failed many times.
The undead to save the town, mission complete, and kudos to you, Warcraft 3. I don't know how much of that was scripted or how much of that was my doing, but that was really fun. It certainly pulled me into the narrative. I enjoyed myself, and I can't wait to see what's next. Arthas and co. make their way now to the city of Stratholme to warn everyone about the tainted grain, but as Arthas arrives, he sees that it's already too late.
Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead.
What?
This entire city must be purged.
Arthas decides on his own that he must take their army into Stratholme and slay all the villagers. Uther is naturally appalled by the idea, which leads to Arthas trying to use his power as prince to fire Uther from the paladins. Uther runs...
Let it be said once again, Arthas did nothing wrong. He said the thing, he did say the thing indeed.
Runs off, presumably to inform the king, and Jaina follows him, upset at how vengeful Arthas has become. And then we are brought into the level and are given what I can only imagine is one of the most memorable objectives in all of Warcraft 3.
Yes,
Our mission
sir.
will be complete when we slay 100.
But let's be honest for a second. What was their alternative really? What was the alternative? They're turning into zombies anyway. Stratholme is lost anyway. So the alternative is slay them when they're zombies or try to slay them earlier. Arthas did nothing wrong.
Villagers. Hint! The plagued villagers are hiding inside the city buildings. Destroy the buildings to get to the villagers. Oh god, does this have to be any more heartbreaking? As I make my way into this...
Murder them when they turn into zombies, that's more ethic. Is it really that more ethic when they have to go through this gruesome transformation? It is not a nice transformation, I think. Arthas did nothing wrong.
City, I find out that it can be more heartbreaking because you can't right-click to kill the villagers or the buildings. Thus far in Warcraft, any true enemy can be right-clicked by your units to instantly attack them, like most all RTS games. But that doesn't work here. To take these structures and villagers down, you have to do what we did in our very first mission and intentionally A-click attack the homes to destroy them, and then A-click attack the villagers to kill them off before they turn into zombies.
That's freaking genius. He's so right in pointing that out. How great this is. Yes, it's the objective. Yes, it would be easier if you could just right-click. But it does something to you if you have to left-click attack them. Because they're yours, usually.
You are past redemption.
I've been waiting for you, young prince. I am Mal'Ganis.
After killing your first villager, Mal'Ganis shows up, the Dreadlord who is behind all of this supposedly, and this is where the mission gets a little bit trickier. The overall goal here is to kill 100 villagers yourself before Mal'Ganis kills 100, turning them into undead or something. It injects some tension in the mission and adds the additional challenge of giving you a truly powerful enemy to fight, which does make the mission a bit harder. But honestly, playing through this for the first time now, I kind of think Mal'Ganis wasn't needed. It would have been a little bit more impactful, for me at least, if Arthas had to intentionally go around slowly and methodically making his way through the town, razing it to the ground without any sort of outside threat. That would have been really impactful, like something straight out of Spec Ops The Line or that Call of Duty airport level. Honestly, the way that...
Not sure. I think that would get very stale after a while. I think that would have been boring. And we've seen how amazing this counter was in the previous mission, when the clock ticks down. Now, it's like kind of samey, but you raise up, so it doesn't feel like it's the same objective. Right.
That this campaign is framed here, it kind of feels like Arthas didn't do anything wrong. I mean, the villagers, if you don't kill them fast enough, do turn into the undead, who then are actual enemies you can right-click to kill. Not to mention, slaying these people while they still have their humanity is kind of presented as a better alternative to whatever would have happened if Mal'Ganis got his hands on them. But to be fair, I'm kind of nitpicking here and looking at this game with 23 years of hindsight. For 2002, this had to be an incredible stroke of genius. This mission was ahead of its time in many ways, using gameplay to tell a very heartbreaking tale that really makes you feel how much Arthas has become a changed man.
I also like that this establishes that the undead are always coming back. Like, you fight Mal'Ganis, and it's your first big boss battle, right? I mean, you got the Blade Master, kind of, but he's undergeared. Crit is very low, you know. And then you fight Mal'Ganis, and you kick him, finally, under this urgency that you have to kill more, and then you kill him, and it's like, yeah, you got it now, right? If he's dead, he can't kill more villagers. But he's undead. And though he comes back. Of course he does.
Following the culling, Jaina and Uther survey the wreckage. The Prophet shows up once more, now trying to convince Jaina she is the one who could save her people by leading them west. Meanwhile, up in the north, Arthas is leading an expedition of soldiers to hunt down Mal'Ganis as we are thrust into another mission. This time there's a new biome to explore, a frozen tundra, which includes some new creeps to slay, as well as some very cute neutral monsters we will not be slaying. As we continue pressing on, exploring the terrain to find space to set up a camp, Arthas makes an unexpected discovery. Here, we find some allied dwarves who were in need of rescuing, and before I show this cutscene, I I want to say something. So I think most of us have probably become very familiar with movies and games that feature what a lot of people have dubbed Marvel writing. Some people also call it millennial writing or Marvel dialogue. It has many names, but you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a movie when a superhero is going off on a rant about some annoying person and then finishes his rant with a pause saying, "He's standing right behind me, isn't he?" It's dialogue that's trying to be funny, but just kind of comes off as corny and cringe, and now it feels like it's popping up in so many games and movies. And I bring this up because at this point in the story, I really started to recognize how well Warcraft's writing and dialogue had been. One specific moment brought on this revelation, a joke that actually made me laugh out loud.
Muradin Bronzebeard, is that you?
Damn, boy. I never imagined that you'd be the one to come to our rescue.
Rescue? Muradin, I didn't even know you were here.
Like, that would have been a perfect spot for a poorly aged Marvel joke where Arthas could have said, "Oh yeah, we were totally trying to rescue you," but it's so much funnier played straight. All of Warcraft 3's writing and voice acting has just been phenomenal, in part, I think, because it's all played straight and is also very nuanced. When two characters are joking around, or when there's pent-up anger, or whatever emotion a scene might call for, it's always delivered in a convincing manner that gets the feeling across to the audience, but it never gives you the vibe that it's forced. It's something that I think deserves recognition. Kudos to the voice actors for such great delivery. Kudos to the writers and whoever was directing all of this. Anyway, getting back to the story,
And that's so cool, right? Because obviously you have this cartoony look. It's not as real or gritty as StarCraft is, and it never wanted to be, but it still takes itself seriously without ever being too serious. It is just the perfect mix of everything. The greatest match. The greatest game.
Is our new hero that is now teaming up with Arthas to set up a base camp and help us along. Our first task is to go north to free this Dwarven encampment, who become another base that we can then use. As we head up to do so, our main base is harassed by a bit more undead, this time including some flying units. And I am ashamed to admit that I forgot, in an RTS game, flying units can only be attacked by other flying or ranged units. This genre does not have the loose relationship with reality that MOBAs do. Anyway, I eventually free the dwarves by destroying the first undead base while also defending my own, before then pressing onward to try and find Mal'Ganis. We eventually reach his base with the help of a few new unit additions and take it down, destroying every last structure to complete our mission. After completion, we're treated to a cutscene where Muradin explains to Arthas the reason he was up here in the north was to hunt down some sort of supposed vault containing a special sword named Frostmourne. Just as we learn this, a captain comes along to tell us our soldiers haven't found any trace of Mal'Ganis in his base, so Arthas decides to set up camp here and continue pressing onward. The next morning, however, while Arthas is out on an errand, an emissary comes to tell his troops that Uther has convinced the king to order them to return home to Lordaeron. The men should go back to their ships immediately, although an undead force blocks the road back, so the soldiers decide to chop their way through the forest from the base camp we just established. Upon hearing this, Arthas is so distraught that he makes a bold decision.
Uther had my troops recalled? Damn it! If my warriors abandon me, I'll never defeat Mal'Ganis. The ships must be burned before the men reach the shore.
And
you know, some would say that's evil. But you gotta do what you gotta do. It's for the greater good. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. And he's saving the world. It is not evil. It's the right thing to do.
We are now sent off on another fun exploration mission, Although this story is getting pretty sad, I'm starting to get worried that we're not going to have a happy ending. Here, Arthas has to lead a small troop to take down each one of the ships before time runs out and his soldiers reach them. I lead my men onward, and after a few fights, we encounter a mercenary camp where I can hire new units. This is a cool way.
Also, what does freaking Uther know? He's not even here. He don't know the situation. He doesn't know what it's about. He doesn't have full knowledge to make a decision. Arthas is right smack bang in the middle. And he knows.
Some more guys to fight with. We make our way through the undead army to knock down the ships one by one, and I, for one, am very glad that Muradin is here. Muradin is probably my favorite hero so far. So Arthas's abilities are all healing and defensive stuff that gets a little bit boring to use after a while. And while Jaina was a lot of fun with her summoned elemental and the blizzard ability I eventually picked up, Muradin feels much more like a real hero in Dota or a champion in League of Legends. He has AoE damage that's also crowd control. He has a ranged Q type ability that deals a lot of single target damage and stun. He's someone that's just super fun to play, and the exact kind of hero I can imagine Warcraft 3 players wanting to 1v1 each other with in early versions of Dota. We hire more mercenaries and blow up some trees, and then we get to one part where there is a lot of turrets in the way of the path to our final 2 ships. As a League player, I first start thinking, okay, we should probably run back from these towers and maybe use our siege units to snipe them from afar because this is going to be tough. But then I say, okay, you know what? I bet we can survive. Let's just sprint our way through. We lose almost all of our units doing this, except for a few mercenaries, but we managed to get to the last 2 ships, and with just a few minutes left, we let this ice troll take our ships down. Thank God for the mercenaries, because they were super helpful, but then...
Quickly, my warriors! These murderous creatures have burned our ships and robbed you of your way home. Slay them all in the name of Lordaeron.
No, Arthas, you are being such a jerk. Those guys just helped you finish the mission.
Okay, that was evil and also unnecessary. So when I say Arthas did nothing wrong, maybe he did a little bit wrong.
You lied to your men and betrayed the mercenaries who fought for you. What's happening to you, Arthas?
Exactly, Muradin. That's what I'm saying.
The Dark Lord said you would come. This is where your journey ends, boy. Trapped and freezing at the roof of the world, with only death to sing the tale of your doom.
This looks bad. We're completely surrounded.
Only had the mercs.
There's still one chance. Help me claim Frostmourne. If it's as powerful as you said, it might tilt the scales in our favor.
I have a bad feeling about this, lad. But I promised I'd see this through.
And that is the lead-in to our final mission in the human campaign, a great culmination of everything we've seen so far. This last mission takes place in 2 parts. On the one side of the map, you have the classic RTS macro focus of building your base and raising an army to go fight Mal'Ganis, while on the other side, you have Arthas and Muradin who are going through some sort of dungeon to go and claim Frostmourne. Overall, this feels like really great game design. I can imagine it's probably just enough macro and multitasking to be challenging to a new player while not feeling that overwhelming. I mostly focus at first on making my way through the dungeon and eventually reach some sort of guardian hero who is protecting the vault that holds Frostmourne, who keeps suggesting that maybe this isn't the best idea.
Still trying.
How crazy this is, right? Like, you're being attacked by a million undead thingies and one sword is gonna save you. But that's the great thing about Warcraft, as I say, like, you grow to love the inventory and the item, and it sets the game apart from every other RTS. And then the savior in the final mission is one of these items, and it's great.
To protect the sword, are you?
No. Trying to protect you from it.
Come on, Arthas, why aren't you listening to all of the foreshadowing in the plot? Arthas and Muradin make their way into the vault, reaching Frostmourne, but Muradin then reads an ancient runic text on the pedestal, to find the blade is cursed. Muradin naturally says that they should leave, but Arthas says he is happy to take on any curse for vengeance.
I call out to the spirits of this place. I will give anything or pay any price if only you will help me save my people.
See, he's acting in good faith.
Prince Arthas, where is Muradin? We can't hold out for much longer. Muradin is dead. But take heart, Captain. The enemy will not stand long against the might of Frostmourne.
God, I was genuinely upset here. We are so close to finishing our objective, but it feels so bittersweet. I go back to using boring old Paladin Boy to lead our charge into the enemy base, and thanks to Frostmourne, we make quick work of Mal'Ganis' army, it appears. I actually then ran into a little bit of a problem. Once again, I didn't know what building I needed to kill to complete the mission, so I just ran around killing every single one of them, hoping that one would bring me victory. It took like 10 minutes of sprinting in circles until eventually I got the last structure down and completed the mission. Prince Arthas' quest is now complete.
So, you've taken up Frostmourne at the expense of your comrades' lives, just as the Dark Lord said you would. You're stronger than I thought.
You waste your breath, Mal'Ganis. I heed only the voice of Frostmourne now.
You hear the voice of the Dark Lord. He whispers to you through the blade you wield. What does he say, young human? What does the Dark Lord of the Dead tell you now?
He tells me that the time for my vengeance has come.
What? He can't possibly mean to...
It is finished.
Such a great ending, man.
As we end the campaign, we are then met with a wall of text describing that after his vengeance, Arthas wandered off into the frozen wilderness. Frostmourne's voice eventually drove Arthas mad, and now, driven by the sword's dark will, Arthas plans to return home to Lordaeron. I'm sure it's for something good, right?
Ah, my son.
You no longer need to sacrifice for your people. You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown. I've taken care of everything.
What is this? What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
Greatest animation.
This kingdom shall fall, and from the ashes shall arise a new order that will shake the very foundations of the world.
Oh, God. Okay, that was not a happy story or campaign, but honestly, it was really awesome. I swear, this game has felt exciting and tense and had all kinds of little twists and turns that not only told a great story, but did so through gameplay in unique ways that I don't remember many other RTS games doing back in 2002. And again, keep in mind, I am only 1/4 of the way through. This is basically a prologue. We've completed the human campaign, but the undead, orc, and night elf campaigns are all still there, waiting to continue the story. Not to mention a whole expansion. And you know what? I was having so much fun that at first I said, screw it, let's just play through the whole game for this YouTube video. I did the first few undead campaign missions, which just kept the amazing pace of story and gameplay rolling. Why am I dying so much fighting these guys? Wait, is this supposed to be a stealth mission in an RTS? But then I said, you know what? This game is so good and I like playing it so much, I'm gonna go through the rest of it by myself. No recording, not even doing it for YouTube. That's the mark of how you can tell a content creator really likes a video game, when they think this is so good, I'm gonna play it, not even for content. And so that's what I'm doing now. As I'm editing this video you're watching, I'm sure that I am taking breaks to keep going back and doing more missions because wow, this is a very fun video game. Who would have thought one of the most celebrated RTS titles of all time deserves all the accolades constantly heaped upon it? You know, the reason that I never went back and played through Warcraft 3 originally was just because I thought, you know, this game is so old, there's no way that it still has something unique to offer me that the last 23 years of gaming hasn't already given. I look back on older games a lot like this, thinking that even if they were great and special for their time, their greatness has to have been mimicked and iterated on so much that I don't need to go back and replay the original, right? But if this whole experience has taught me anything, it's that that's simply wrong.
Yep.
At least in this case, Warcraft 3 is a really fun and special game that holds up even after all this time. I kind of feel like an idiot that it took me this long to play it. It turns out just like in literature or film or any other art form,
There's no other RPG RTS. There's not.
the classics are classic for a reason, and they're almost always worthy of your time. So if there's a lesson to take away from all this, go and play an old game. Stand up for video game preservation. And somebody please tell me that this story has a happy ending. Do I have to go all the way into playing World of Warcraft before I reach a happy ending? When does it get happy? But anyway, that's all for today. If you're still listening to my voice now, thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video all the way through. This was a weird experiment that's kind of new for my channel, so I hope you enjoyed it. At the very least, I hope this adventure was a bit of entertainment for you today. I will continue my excursions into seeing if there is more in life beyond League of Legends in our next video. So subscribe for more of that if you're interested in watching, or leave a comment letting me know, are you enjoying these videos? Do you want to see more like them? Or should I just go back to grinding League? Is this dumb? But anyway, on that note, I will go ahead and see you guys in our next video, whenever that might be. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.
Here's the video link, everybody. Like and comment to help it out. More eyes on Warcraft is always great. I think he realized a lot of good points what makes Warcraft so special and unique. And he praised the right things. And he criticized like one or two things. But that's all very fair as well. Very well done. Nicely put together. And it's a great video to realize what an awesome game we have. And I was hoping for that, and I got exactly what I wanted. There's a lot of RTS, but there's not another Warcraft 3. Not even an attempt